Hello.
Hey, what is up? Happy
Nothing. Just
Sunday.
happy Sunday to you too.
Yeah, I got me
Yeah.
some nice good old sun today. I gotta be careful, 'cause I be all trying to identify as dark skin and stuff, but if I fuck around and get sunburned, so I
You gonna
be
fuck around
like
and
that.
find out.
Fuck around and find out like this. You ain't dark skin. You got about 30 minutes. No more than 45 minutes out in the sun right now. Stop playing.
Yep.
Oh
It's
man.
not even a joke.
Nah, it's
So
not a joke. No,
sensitivity,
no,
sensitivity.
I think I got about an hour. Yeah, I think I got about an
Uh-huh.
hour and a half before I that first layer of skin is burnt without any sun. But that's when the sun is really strong, though. Anything after 12. That's I gotta be careful. But it's like before that, I'll be like, I got about before 11 a.m. I got about 2 hours to sit
Okay.
out in the sun. But after 11, 12, don't play
Mm-hmm.
around like that. Yeah,
Yeah. Now when the sun's right at the top.
yeah, right at its peak of freaking
Mm-hmm.
V and UVA and UVB rays and shit.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Man, what you do this weekend?
I vegged out yesterday and now I'm doing everything I was supposed to do yesterday, which is doing
Nice.
my hair.
Dope, dope,
I'm doing my
dope.
hair, but at least I'm doing it. 'Cause I
Yeah,
was about to pass it up. I was about to pass
I'm gonna
it.
do my hair tomorrow. Do
Yep.
some of my hair tomorrow, whatever. But
Hmm.
I think I went a little bit too. I went overboard in the gym yesterday.
Hmm.
Eating that daggone plain oatmeal will have you freaking working out for hours and not even feel hungry.
No flinching. No flinch.
So that was me. Yeah, that you tend to be like, oh, I'm still at it. Let me go some more. And yeah, that was
Hmm.
me yesterday. But I went on ahead and got me a massage or whatever. So, and
Okay.
then
You feeling okay? No
I'm
soreness?
feeling no, I feel great because I mean,
Okay.
it's not like I made me like a meal that was like just eating like some chicken and broccoli. I made like a pad thai, but I had got the
A
stuff
pad
and I
thai?
was like, yeah, I had a taste of like some takeout food, but I don't be wanting to eat takeout food anymore because especially with these people not possibly using fake meats and shit. You look
Hmm.
like beef, but then it's not beef, or it look like chicken
Hmm.
and it's not. I'm not messing around. I know where the heck my meat come from, and I'm not taking that risk. But it came
Hmm.
out good though. I
Okay, cool.
ate the rest of it today, so it was really delicious.
I'm happy to
Oh
hear that.
man. So we at episode 27 of the Wine Fire
Hmm.
Podcast.
Yes, yes,
Ladies,
yes.
has competition between women benefited us? But, before we get into that topic, Azima, where can everyone find you?
Oh, you can find me on TikTok and Instagram as Azima the Only. And you can find me on YouTube and Facebook as Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. That's OZIDI Wellness and Fitness. Where can we find you, Joe?
So yeah, you can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook at Camp Jogofit. That's KampJogofit. And
Mm-hmm.
also, please, y'all, subscribe to our One Fine podcast on YouTube as well to catch up with episodes you may have missed. We also include the links in there too, so just so that you can basically see what we were talking about and see for yourself to see if you feel the same way like us.
Yep, yep,
So
yep, yep.
I don't know about you, but this whole women's competition, for me personally, I never felt the need to compete with another woman. Like,
Mm,
I don't like that just something that just never crossed my mind for me.
yeah, I
I
never
could
cared
speak
for
for
it.
myself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And then I always, not always, but if I, do have a personal situation to share, there was a situation, some young girl back in, a couple years ago, whatever, was at some place, and her friend and probably this is probably not even her friend either. You know, that we did talk about in that episode. You know, be wary of, you
Friends.
know, friends and stuff. You know, you got to be
Mhm.
careful with female friends too. But
Mhm.
she gonna tell me that her friend, you know, thinks I'm her competition or whatever. So I was
Mhm.
just like, you know, I didn't even notice her. That just goes to show that, you know, I don't care about whatever you got going on and how you look. You know,
Mhm.
now if you look at both of us, people would probably say that we're both pretty. So that's probably why she felt that I was her competition. But,
Cause you're
you know,
pretty.
right, but you know, honestly, we were shaped differently. You know, I
Mhm.
was, you know, thicker than her, and you know, just and in my own lane. You know, I always gonna be in my own lane or whatever. I worry about bringing out my gifts. I don't worry about trying to dim anybody else's light. And so,
Mhm.
you know, that was just an interesting situation. And this is something that like has been, you know, ongoing in uh the womandom for
The woman
centuries.
done.
The womandom. I'm gonna say the womandom. Yeah. Been going on for a
But
long time. So, you know, the
yeah.
funny thing is, you know, I'm scrolling through Facebook, right? I'm seeing, you know, one of my Facebook friends, he posted, you know, this video, and I just thought like this was something that, you know, we definitely should talk about because I've definitely experienced where females felt that I was their competition, and I also have some like other articles that came across as well that kind of like support where we're going on this subject. So, not
Mhm.
that I was trying to find something to support, but just to
It just
see, okay,
exists.
how does everyone else feel about this besides us? So,
Uh huh.
I'm gonna go ahead and play that video of this hurt female that, you know, and it was so funny, the Facebook friend that posted this, he was like, they need to stop giving people hurt people mics and platforms. And that's exactly
Mhm.
what it is, because it's like they're like social media now is like the new age R&B singers. You know, like back in the days, R&B singers would be singing about, you know, painful situations. You know, I love you, I want
Is
you,
that the
come
reason
back.
why R&B ain't doing that well? Because I don't think it's doing that good. Is it because everybody's expressing their hurt feelings and stuff like that? So it's like, oh, I can't do another R&B song just because all
Well,
I hear is sadness and
you let
complain
social
and
media tell it.
excuses.
No, well, you let social media tell it. They said that when the guy stopped doing this particular move, basically with their arms up in the air and everything and twisting and turning around, they said the moment that they stopped doing that, that's when RV stopped being good.
Oh, okay.
And you know, they
Well,
played a couple of R&B groups. I was like, wow, they're all doing it. So that,
you talking about the hip thrust, the Casey
it
and
wasn't the
JoJo
hip
hip
thrust.
thrust?
It was some type of like they're throwing their hands up in the air, like begging, please, like come
Yeah,
back to
begging
me.
you, please.
Yeah, like they all did that hand thing up in the
And
air.
I
So
wish I never met her. That one,
right,
those
so
that kind
yeah.
of
But
anguish,
I think when
that
like
struggle.
people like Trey Songs came in and Chris Brown started calling, you know, women bitches on R&B song, I think that's when it like kind of like took a turn. Or they just, you know, they just started getting motherfuckers that wasn't really singing, that was just depending on auto tune. I don't know if you've
Mm-mm.
seen the verses with
The
we kind of going off on a
808s.
tangent here. I'm so sorry,
We
but
certainly
just
are.
kind of but you know, that freaking verses that they did have with Omarion and Ray J and
Yeah.
freaking Bobby V. These
Didn't they all
motherfuckers
sound
can't
horrible?
sing. They sound like y'all ain't doing no mic check. The only one that did the mic check was like Mario. He was the only one that could really sing. All of the rest of y'all was like, y'all just thought y'all was gonna come in there with some theatrics and stuff and gonna win the people over. No. Like, if
Mm-hmm.
we hear you live, we expect you to sing. So yeah, it's terrible. But man, let's go and play this video. This sound. Well, I'll place the video on the link when we post it on YouTube. But
Okay.
we can just hear it for now. It's so hard to really find a guy who's really single at our age. Like single, no girls he's dating, entertaining, sleeping with, talking to,
having a conversation, a casual conversation with, he's always gonna have some kind of girl in his life, and it's like I feel like me at this point in my life, and I don't want to have to do this, but I feel like I'm doing it. Like I'm having to compete for someone to see me. Like I'm having to compete to prove my point, prove my worth. Like, oh, you're going to have to compete to get this guy to stop talking to all the girls he's talking to and just focus on you. How can you, as a woman, like, set yourself apart for him to just be like, this is the girl I want to really be with. I don't want to talk to no other girl. But I guess it's always going to be in the back of my mind. Like, I feel like I'm always going to have to be competing for somebody to really just see me. Like, just see I'm alive. Hi, give me a chance, you know. But it's like, you know, it's like at this age, like, then I don't think for the right person.
Yeah, that's about as much as I can stomach on that one right there. But and it's
honestly, I think in her case, I feel like she's taking it a little too personally. These men have women in their life. They're all around them. They can't just see you. They have eyes that see, you know. And I can, from my personal perspective, my husband had women in his life prior to me. I couldn't just get him to just stop communicating and stuff, you know, with those women. It just slowly dwindled when he was just like, I can't do this anymore. All right. And he just stopped calling people that he just deemed not important. But you gotta let that shit trickle down on its own. You can't just be expecting these people he was talking to, God knows how long, you know, and they're important people in that person's life. And to just expect them to drop everybody else to see you is unrealistic.
Like, what makes you special?
She is special. That's not the point. The point is they're all special. There's all these special people in their life. Number one might be their mother. He ain't gonna stop talking to his mother or any other woman just because you exist in his life. You are an intricate part of his life. It's not gonna stop. I feel like that's foolishness.
Yeah.
That's all I'm saying.
Well,
and like I said, it
so
happens on its own.
Yes, she is special, but she clearly doesn't think that way about herself. Because if you feel the need that you have to compete for somebody to
Then
see
you leave that motherfucker alone. Excuse
you're
me.
a weirdo. You know, like,
Leave
why
him
do you
alone.
feel? You know, if you got to do too much,
Mm-hmm.
I'm just a big, you know, through the years I have learned to, like, kind of let things flow, you know, and not force things. You
Mm-hmm.
competing, thinking you got to compete with other women. That's forcing things. But let's grab this
Correct.
comment here, you know, from Iraq.
Finding someone to love you is hard. No, it's not. It's just a lot of females choose the wrong men, and a lot of men choose the wrong females. It's somebody for everybody. It's over 8 billion people on this earth. It's somebody for everybody.
Facts.
Yeah, that is facts. You know, I totally agree
Facts.
on that.
I feel like everybody has these stipulations that stop them from meeting their perfect person, and therefore they are looking for love in all the wrong places. And most
Yeah,
people are going by the feelings and their body and how their body wants to be rubbed and touched, that they don't pay attention to all the important things that are necessary to have a fruitful relationship.
yeah, and it's like, if if you're just focusing on your looks, you were focusing on, like, just, your sex game. It's
Mm-hmm.
like everybody focuses on that. A lot of people focus on their looks. A lot of people focus on their sex game and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Woohoo! That's
Ooh.
nothing,
As the
like,
Sims would say, woohoo.
like, woohoo! Like, wow, you're really, different from other people. Like, really, but not really. You
I
know,
think people think that they are different when it comes to sex. Sex is sex. It doesn't
it really
change.
is.
There's
It
nothing
really
really
doesn't.
special about it. It's
Because
sex, you
everybody
know?
do the same three positions.
Mm-hmm.
Majority of people just do the same three positions and everything. So it's
Everybody
like,
ends up getting that cramp in that leg when they're in the position they shouldn't be in. It's universal. And I feel like everybody's thinking there's something special about that universal thing. And there's nothing special about it. It's been happening for years. What has not been happening often enough is that connection with somebody that you truly like. That doesn't happen often enough. If it did, people would be a lot happier, you know?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't
So
be complaining.
let's jump into this article that I did come across about women competing with other women, about what this article basically says. So I will post the link when we post this up to YouTube, but it
Mm-hmm.
came across from psychcentral.com, and the article basically talked about, relationships, competition among women. So I'm not going to get into the whole entire article, but in a nutshell, they started off basically saying that this is a form of insecurity for a woman
Mm-hmm.
to feel that she needs to compete with another woman. And just judging by the way that chick sounds, the one that that played
Mm-hmm.
the video, does she
Yeah.
sound like someone who is secure in her skin?
No, she doesn't sound secure, and she also sounds hopeless.
A hopeless romantic?
I don't know. I feel like she sounds hopeless. I feel like she feels like she's never gonna find it because men always, do this and that, and that's what she has in her head. And I don't think that's the case. It's a diverse group of people out there. It's not, but I just think
Yeah.
that she sounds hopeless. She feels like she's alone and she's never gonna find somebody because men keep women on the side and they're always talking to somebody. They never focused on you. Blah blah blah. That's what she sounded like to me.
But
And she too
yeah, it
young
was
to
like,
sound like that.
nah,
Way
she
too young.
said that she's like in her 30s or
Too young.
something. She appears to be like her 30s. So, but here's like in the Psych Central article that I came across, signs of female competition. The instinct to one up each other persists today. If you experienced conflict between female friends or female jealousy in a workplace, it may be rooted in a survival oriented competitiveness or ideals. And here are some of the traits that the author pointed out of signs of female competition. So they brought up gossiping, you
Mm-hmm.
know, I know for me, I don't care to know somebody's business. If you want to tell me, you could tell me, and then it like stays with me, But
Mm-hmm.
just it's just how you just see people's. There's many times when like me and my mom will be driving out, and she'll notice something with the neighbors, and like, oh, I don't think he lives over there no more. Like, I don't care. Like that's their problem. I ain't really worried about them. Um, Another trait they brought up was negativity. Well, yeah, that I could definitely see that. That definitely goes hand in hand with insecurities, because you're clearly negative about yourself if you feel that, in her case, if she always felt that, she felt she has to compete, feeling that she has to like get a guy's attention. Like, why do you have to do that?
Mm-hmm.
Like, your whole aura, your persona should be able to do that effortlessly, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sabotaging. I
Mm.
mean, that's pretty much self-explanatory. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Here's a good one that they brought up. This on the list:
Self-sabotaging.
gaslighting.
Oh, okay.
So they brought
I
up
can see that.
gaslighting. So if you have a female friend that gaslights you, you know, like
Mm-hmm.
this is great, but this will be better if you did it like this. It's all in the
Mm-hmm.
tone. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Noisiness, you know, they always say that the loudest person in the room is the weakest. So
Okay.
that makes sense because of insecurity.
Trying to bring attention
Boasting,
to themselves.
right? But here you go, boasting. Now, remember when you brought up a good point that we were kind of
I,
like chit chatting about?
okay. Yeah, I remember. I was talking about when let's say you're in a group and you have accolades, it's not up to you to bring up your accolades. It's somebody else that brings it up and then, says, oh, look at Azima, she did all this and that. Now if it was you doing it, it don't sound good. People hate that when you boast about yourself, but when other people do it about you, it looks good because you didn't say nothing. So I
Right.
think it's a major insecurity when you bring up your own accolades because you're afraid no one else will do it, so you do it just to get it out there. And I
So
think
giving
that's a sign of
yourself,
insecurity.
absolutely, giving yourself self edification. You're supposed to edify other people, not edify
Yes,
yourself.
and you
Like,
look
yes,
good
have
edifying other people.
yes, have good confidence in yourself, but let your actions speak. You don't need
Mm-hmm.
to, be the person that you don't have to introduce yourself. You know,
Mm-hmm. Like
everybody
I
already
said,
knows.
somebody else is already introducing you, or
Yeah,
everybody knows you in the room. But to go say, it just brings you down a notch when
right.
you're edifying yourself.
Another point they brought up that was pretty good is mimicking.
Mm-hmm. Oh, when
Um,
that single white female thing.
Oh, hell yeah. That's a good ass. That is a good ass example. And I've seen that movie more than a couple of times and just thought it was like, wow, how the heck did this happen? Like, she got her hair cut like her, got the
Mm-hmm.
same hair color, the same
Yep.
heels that she wanted, and it just was insane.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah,
I say there's
oh,
a lot of teen movies that do that, where you're in a group of girls and they say, "Oh, that's ugly," and
like
then you don't
Heather's.
buy it. Yes, exactly. And the next thing you know, what the girl that said it was ugly is wearing it tomorrow, the next day.
Ah, yeah. I'm trying to
That's
think of things that's so many
this is
movies. There's
cool.
probably just been a lot of them. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Um,
stuff like that.
so yeah, so that is one article. And another one for w4women.com, they brought up some, interesting, pretty much the same points as well. Just talking
Mm-hmm.
about how of course, the insecurity, and it found that women who displayed that indirect aggression towards other women, that's a
Uh-huh.
sign of, competitiveness as
Passive
well.
aggressiveness.
Passive aggressive, like it's just ridiculous, and I think that's just why I don't. I think you and I can both agree that's why we don't have many female friends because I don't
Yeah.
want to deal with foolishness like that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but on the flip side, not only does this happen amongst female friends, this can also happen amongst female family members as well.
That's the effed up part.
Like,
That's
think
crazy.
about it. I remember, I forget what, I was trying to find that video too, but it was basically Young Miami's mom. She be all hanging out with her daughter. Not that that's a bad thing, but it's like, there's a way to go about things because it looks like she's trying to like hang out with her mom to like hang out with her daughter to have like a hot girl summer and stuff. She has
Mm-hmm.
like that type of attitude about her. But it was like an art. It was probably either a blog site, maybe it would have been hearsay, maybe it was hearsay. But Young Miami's mom it allegedly said that she shouldn't her daughter shouldn't be with Diddy. She should be with Diddy because they're more in the age, closer in the age group and everything.
Mm-hmm. Because she
So
can love him better than she can.
yeah. Yes. But, just on that note, oh my goodness, like I came across another video where it was like, what in the freaking world, man? Um, so about on that whole notion of your family will compete with you as well.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just gonna let you guys just hear the video and just let your
All
mouth.
right.
I know my mouth dropped when I heard this, but it was hilarious. I'll go ahead and play that, and
It's not funny. It's
we'll
fucked
just
up.
take the conversation from there.
Okay.
Alright, so basically, I had been dating this guy for like 3 months. And my grandma, she's 79. I don't know how to explain it, but she really ugly. I don't know how to explain it. And he would stay over here every night, and I would wake up and he would be out of my bed. I stayed home one day, like I called off of work because I wasn't feeling good. Tell me why this is making breakfast for my grandma. So I was like, oh, you're still here? He's like, yeah, I just like was helping your granny clean up and stuff. And I said, okay. Next day, he goes to sleep again. I'm up. This kid sneaks out of the bed, opens the door, goes into my grandma's room. Next thing you know, I hear them fucking.
I know her teeth was in that glass, though.
On God, it was.
That's what I'm saying. That's what she got over you.
Nope. Please stop.
What she got over you?
The Tico.
Hey, the girl ain't got no teeth, so I guess
Fresh set of
giving him
gum.
that sloppy top. I don't know.
Hey, you win some, you lose some. You lost today, maybe you'll win tomorrow.
Maybe.
Can you imagine? I don't want
I
to
can
imagine.
It's very possible to imagine. I can imagine it. Yep, it can happen.
So it's
She got good game.
It's a granddaughter, but what kind of, I don't know, like, and then just on that whole, like, this whole cougars thing, they feel, they feel empowered to, like, be fucking these young boys and stuff. Like, you do what you want. If that's what makes you feel empowered, I know for myself, I ain't doing that. That's wild to me. I feel weird. Like, my youngest nephew is like in his like 30s, early 30s.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine dealing with somebody younger than my nephew. It's just like, why?
All right, it's it's uh it's just what's the word that we were talking about before? It's like a conquering kind of thing.
Yeah,
Saying I did
conquering.
it. Yeah, you know.
Like, I still got it.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yeah. That's pretty messed up though.
That is
I
messed up.
can't
Like,
imagine doing that to my grandkids.
I
I
mean,
don't have legitimate grandkids, but I have, you know, grandkids in the family, and I can't imagine doing it to. And they're what, like babies now? Imagine me. Yeah, yeah.
I remember one day I was watching one of those judge shows, and it was a situation where, like, the auntie was messing around with her niece's boyfriend and stuff. I'm like, what?
Aw,
Like, what kind of honor? Like, there's no law. Like, that's
not
why
anymore.
would you want somebody that your family member been with? Like,
People are more loyal to their ego now. They gotta make themselves feel better. So they're gonna do whatever it takes to make their ego feel good.
that's
There's no
dangerous,
loyalty.
man. That having
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I can't imagine. Sometimes you gotta let that ego go.
Mm-hmm.
You really do.
Yeah. So, and that's all they can fall back on. I'm sure there's a lot of things that make them. That's the easiest thing that you have control over, and I think that's one of the reasons why people. Well, not control over, but clearly they don't have control. But what I'm saying is that's the thing. It's not like they're using other abilities to say, "Hey, I'm good at this. I'm that." This is the easiest thing to say. "Oh, I'm sexy. Look at me."
Oh yeah, I could
You
just open
know.
my legs up.
Yeah.
I could take my teeth out and give you the bomb ass sloppy toppy.
Oh, I never heard it referenced that way. Sloppy, sloppy toppy.
Uh,
No, 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 no. That's crazy. Yeah,
but
sloppy
that
toppy.
definitely makes sense for the easiest thing for somebody to have available. Like, oh, this we'll just figure it out as we go. Let's just go ahead and you know, you and me babies ain't nothing but mammals, so let's do it like they do it on the Discovery Channel,
Your
you know?
channel.
Yeah, it's just animalistic and everything. So,
Yeah. Very simple. Doing exactly what we're built for. That's why I said Taylor's oldest time, because I feel like, this competition has been done in the Bible.
yeah.
It's a story you hear in the Bible. It's stories you hear from medieval times between kings and queens. Uh, and it didn't benefit anybody but the person they were fighting over. You know, like
But
that
here,
that that boyfriend, he got it from her, and he got it from her grandmother, great grandmother, excuse me. So yeah, all the benefits is the person you're fighting over.
yeah,
And
right.
then
I'm fighting over
he
nobody.
probably, and then it doesn't, and then at the end nobody's happy because he's moved on. Clearly he wasn't going to stay with the great grandmother, and he didn't stay with you because he didn't have respect for you not to do it. So both of y'all lose,
I
and
get,
he has a story to tell in the future.
I don't get why people don't understand that. Like when you just go immediately into like a physical relationship, that doesn't last. So it's like that's not
Hmm.
anything to be mad about if you like in her situation, you know, with her grandma, if a dude decides that, you know, that could be a protection from her, like, oh, pfft, well, I'm glad we didn't, you know, have any kids together. Like, okay, if you want to deal with my grandma, go right ahead. Enjoy.
Yeah, yeah.
Ah. But even Harvard Business Review, they even have a article about it's time to break the cycle of female rivalry. So you can find that particular article on hbr.org. And this is
Okay.
actually an older article, but you know, in summary, they said that you know female rivalry happens when a woman uses her power to keep a woman down, whether it's by mistreating her or unfairly competing with her. But women are
Hmm.
not at fault. You know, they well this one they're trying to say that it's due to sexism and everything. I you know,
Okay.
I don't really care for, you know,
I
people
think there's a lot
putting
of triggering things. I think there's a lot of reasons why there is competition among women, between young and old.
what would be
So
some of
there's
them triggering things.
ageism. Somebody trying to say, well, I don't feel old, therefore I'm not old. And there's somebody saying, well, you're too old to be doing such and such, or having long hair, or doing this. The
Or
point
twerking
is,
online.
or yeah, they're saying that you're too old to be on TikTok, basically. And and it's not fair. That is a form of ageism. So people try to prove you wrong by showing that no, I can be sexy, I can be this, I can rock the long hairdo, I can work this job, I can compete. you know so like we said, it leads back to the ego, because you're trying to prove people wrong and show how good you are. I just that, like, when it deals with sex, I think it's much easier to prove people wrong in that context, instead of like, oh, I'm the best employee in this place,
But is it?
which
But
would make more sense. I think competition, sports, workplace, all that shit is normal. It has to happen because people need to make their money. They need to work, move forward. But when it comes to the sexes, I think, um,
it's pointless.
that it's pointless, and it devalues you, because when
Yeah.
after you're done doing all those things and people say, hey, you did that, ha ha ha, you know what I mean, it doesn't put you in a better position because you did it. You just look like, you know a young girl that did too much, or old woman who did too much. And while everybody's cheering on the old man who did too much and the young man that did too much, while you're sitting there looking like a fool.
You know what movie I just thought about when you mentioned that?
What?
Um you seen Empire Records?
I do remember that, yes.
So okay, so you remember the Empire Records, you know, they in a
Her friend, the blonde-headed girl, and the dark-haired girl, and how she was treated, and
Right. So, they're in
yeah.
the record store because the record store is about to close down. It's a real good movie. Anybody ever gets a
Mhm.
chance, if you haven't seen it, I definitely recommend going to see it. So,
Mhm.
the one girl that there was this like model or rock star guy that's supposed to come to the record store or whatever. And
Yes.
she really, really liked him or whatever. But the
Yeah,
friend
she was a big
that,
fan.
right, she was a big fan of Virgin, and but she was also like kind of like anorexic bulimic because she used to take diet pills to be skinny and stuff. And
Mhm.
but her friend was, a 304 to say the least. 304 is that term
304.
for that internet term for a loose woman, a hoe, a whore, a harlot, whatever you want to say, a woman of the night. um
304. What does that equate to, though? I mean, like, how do
I,
they come with those numbers? I heard it before, and I couldn't use it because I didn't understand the mathematics behind it. So, if you know,
Yeah, that's just one of those things. I just went with the flow. It's like, okay, so for
304.
people to understand, where I'm coming from,
Uh huh.
that's, the up to date, terms or whatever.
304.
So,
Okay, I
so
heard
her
it though.
304 friend,
Mhm.
basically, you know, gave it to the guy that she liked.
Yes,
And
I remember.
and then you remember the episode where everybody looked at the whore friend and was like, "Oh, how could you
How
do
dare
this?"
you? How could
And
you
she
do
was like,
this?
"At least I'm okay with being myself." And she went in her bag and took out her diet pills. You with your perfect hair and your perfect body and your perfect this, and just
Mhm.
the fact that you had to do that, you went in her bag and threw her pills out, you obviously had some insecurities. Here's your friend, she's a virgin, and you see her
You're
as
ready. She was
perfect.
ready to tear her down. She was
Yeah.
ready, ready.
So
I
that's what
got you.
female that's a movie where you can witness some unnecessary female competition. But
Mhm.
let's go and grab this comment right here from Noosh.
I knew.
304 spells hoe, HOE, when you texting it. That's what it came. That's where it came from. 304 backwards.
Ah.
Really? Oh. We go. That
Ah,
remind me of like the beeper days. I used to have a sheet
yeah.
that had all the. Anyways. Okay, 304 spells hoe. Gotcha.
She's a 304. That's hilarious. And
Mhm.
learn something new every day.
I appreciate that. Thank you very, very much, News, for keeping us updated. I'm gonna write that down. Oh,
Yeah, that's a good way to
yeah.
see your, if looking at the, young kids text to see who they
If I
texting.
see any of that on my daughter's stuff, I'm like, who you calling a hoe? Who's a hoe? Why are you doing it? I'm like, what are you talking about? It just says 304. I know what it means. News told me. Yep.
So yeah,
Yeah.
we could definitely say that, competition definitely healthy in sports. You need that because sports is all based on numbers and how well, you can operate under pressure. But it's like
Mm-hmm.
when you're doing it like with relationships, we seen, we heard in the first video where, the young lady, however old she is, she's clearly insecure because she feels that she has to compete to get a man's attention.
Mm-hmm.
And then you deal with the other type of woman who is dealing with that, oh, I'm older, I still want to feel young and pretty. So how do I do that? Let me go ahead and deal with my granddaughter's boyfriend. And, so then you have
Yeah.
those women, the family members that will compete with each other. You got, of course, the example from the movie Empire Records, the
Mm-hmm.
women, the friends that will compete with each other. Like you may think they're your friend, but they're really not your friend. They're secretly hating you.
Yeah.
And
And I think about the competing part in this aspect. It doesn't benefit. It really doesn't, because the numbers, having those numbers is what makes it worse. Like
Yeah.
the last thing you want is to have a number under you. And I know we were talking about body count and like episodes a long time ago, but that always seems to be the one thing that like ruins the relationship is when they start talking about body count and
Some
how much
men.
it matters to them. Some people,
Some men. Yeah.
period. You know, women have an issue with men with body counts too, but I just think
Ah.
that in that aspect it doesn't work for you as a human being to have numbers under you because it's always thrown in your face.
See, I thought we had some good messages here from this thick boy Thanos, but I get to block him because I
I
got
don't
to
even
see
see
his
thick boys.
message. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
is that
blocking.
like a change in technology? They updated
Yeah,
this where you can see it.
I could see his message here, and he's being disrespectful. So we're blocking you, stupid.
Oh, too bad,
Blocking
Thermos.
you, and we're hiding your messages. We don't care what you
Okay.
have to say because you already came off as disrespectful.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah. So where were we at? Because I thought we was gonna have a comment with some substance, and
Oh, okay. Oh,
that's
both of
not the
them.
case.
Both comments were no good.
Both of the
Oh,
comment.
that's too
I don't know what
bad.
the other one. Well, being that whoever screwed up with the first comment talking about whatever they was talking about, I didn't
Mhm.
honestly didn't care to hear what the next comment was because if you start off being stupid, you know,
Mhm.
and
Okay.
good riddance.
You gotta send them to the playpen.
Yep. Yeah, since you don't know how to, have a conversation like an adult,
Mhm.
we don't.
Okay.
But just in a nutshell, I would probably say that a society as a whole definitely has plays a part in how why this is happening because
Mhm.
we'll look at social media. You got apps to make your butt look bigger, or you
Mhm.
got certain lighting to make yourself look better, and the guys will
Filters.
look at. Yeah, the
Mhm.
filters. A lot of times men will look. Not all of them. They'll look at those pictures of like, ooh, like, and throw a bunch of likes, and then other women may look at that, be like, whoa, why? What does he see in her? Why is she getting all those likes? And she'll think that okay, well, maybe I have to do all of that, or maybe I have to get surgery. You know,
Mhm.
I remember seeing like many like videos about women talking about how they used to get butt shots and they would keep getting more and more butt shots. And it just got to the point where it wasn't even like for the guys. It just came to a point where it was just like women competing against other women.
Mhm.
Getting so many ass shots that it looks like a saggy diaper.
Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah. Or, just, okay, got my butt done.
Booty with
Okay, well,
corners.
yeah, so might as well get my breasts done, or might as well get some Botox to really just give myself the edge,
Mhm.
And I think if people just, it's definitely important, and I'll bring this point up again which I'm sure I brought it up in a previous episode. The movie Be Cool, where Vince Vaughn's character was like to the intern girl, was the secretary girl, who's like, you better have, a personality after when you hit 30. That 38, that
Mhm.
ass ain't gonna keep you relevant forever, you know?
Yeah, well, yeah. That's the I think people think that, once you hit 30, it's the end of the world, like literally. Like there's nobody looking and there's a whole bunch of people looking after that. I think people need to stop worrying about what other people think about your situation as being it's like that form of projection where oh
Mm,
shit, I'm almost 30, I'm old. While there's a whole bunch of people who just looking for somebody to and they don't really care about the age or anything like that. Well, they gotten to the point where they're not caring about the age. They're caring about the content in the person's mind, you know? And when you get past that threshold of age and how it really doesn't matter, then I think things start getting simpler, You know, it's like when you get older and you realize you don't have to get that expensive product. You know, like nobody cares about your sneakers. Nobody
No, heck
cares.
no.
Nobody cares if you know,
Popping bottles in the
if you're,
club.
yeah, no one cares about that stuff no more. You know, everybody's got bills to pay, and you know those things don't matter. And I think once you hit that threshold, you know, things get easier. It's not like, not easier, but it's not all about the age of a person. You
Yeah.
know, especially when
Man,
you experience things with people who are your age, and you're like, oh, this person's shit. It
yeah,
really doesn't
definitely.
mean anything.
I mean, I think even like before you hit that so-called threshold where you're considered old, I think you should already start honing in on your skills and your gifts even before then. But even if you
Mm-hmm.
didn't do that, you should even do that more so after that, because especially the way how this economy is going, like if you think you're competing now, you really gonna be competing for a loaf of bread if you if you don't buy your silver and gold or prepare for this apocalypse is going to happen, you know, with the finances. And, you know, we don't know when the dollar is going to die yet. But
Mm-hmm.
I would hope that, you know, there's going to be. I remember I was, you know, talking with my seafood, and he was telling me about, because he talks with people that's like from Venezuela, you know, like some years ago, you know, their economy like basically collapsed and everything, and women were
Mm-hmm.
out there screwing for a loaf of bread. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I know. Lucky for me, I know how to make my own bread from scratch. So, you know, I have
At least you won't have to
protected.
resort to that.
I have protected myself from that aspect. All I need is my need flour, eggs, and you know, I'll make it happen myself. And I like to stock up on those things as well. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, I said all that to say is, you know, ladies listening, or, you know, future people that will be listening, you know, make sure that you are honing in your skills, your gifts, and, you know, just basically making yourself more valuable, not just for the world, but just for you, you know, just so you don't feel that you have to look at another woman and be like, oh my God, you know, what does he see in her? Or why, you know, I don't think you should get that dress. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just not your color. And then you turn
Mm-hmm.
around and, oh, that dress is not all that. And then you see her getting the dress. You know, we don't ever, we definitely
The
need to
mean
get out of
girls.
that. Yeah. We definitely, you know, as a women as a whole, we definitely have to get out of that whole bimbo era where we're thinking that, okay, well, you know, my looks, my body can definitely get me into, you know, not saying that your looks won't get you into closed doors, but
Mm-hmm.
you know, it's just coming to a point where people are just getting tired of that. You know, you can basically look however you want when you throw on a wig, throw on a makeup, but it's like,
Mm-hmm.
how do you look after that when you take off that wig, makeup, and hair? Like, you have to look at yourself in the mirror. Like, how do you feel
Mm-hmm.
about yourself? What thoughts do you internalize?
Yeah.
Because if you don't internalize good thoughts, that's definitely going to exude through your pores.
There's a show I was looking at yesterday on Amazon Prime called The Power, and it
Sounds
was
interesting.
it's just like a sci-fi thriller about like the girls that are, you know, just turning teens, and they're, you know, getting older, and they end up having like this electricity in their hands, this power to protect themselves. And basically the world is now turning against women, specifically the young girls that have this power, because not only do they have the power, they can give it to older women, so they have power. And the way that the world is turning against them, the women had to become one. They had to, instead of fighting against each other or whatever they were doing, they had to take care of each other. And you know, everybody, you know, the girls were kicked out of their homes because they have this power, people are afraid of them, and you know, they're all coming together and
Mm.
becoming even more powerful because they work together. And I was just thinking to myself, like, why do women need to have a power in order to come together. Why can't we just do that right now? And I feel like it's the insecurities that we have that keep us from being one. Like, guys, they despite the insecurities, I feel like they overlook their insecurities. They still think very highly of themselves. They could be a 2 and they still think they deserve a 10, while women
Oh,
don't think that way about themselves. And
you are so right about that. Because I know
you
one day
know
when I was in the gym and I was like in my own little zone, and I was in the functional training area, and there was like only 2 other people over there. This dude that had the nerve that, I would have never looked, that I didn't even notice, that I would have never
mhm.
looked at twice, had the nerve to come over and, talk to me. And, that definitely speaks the truth about what you said, that they don't care about their insecurities. And I was like, this dude
I
is
don't think they
like,
care about it. I just feel like
yeah,
they are very, they're very, even though they might have insecurities in it, I feel like they use that to benefit them. While I don't think women do that. They don't use it to, okay, well, he didn't like me who I am now, and then, use that to push themselves forward. I don't feel like we do that. Like, the guy was dissed in high school and now he's Michael B. Jordan.
oh, Michael B.
He can't,
Jordan. You Michael B. Jordan.
you know what I mean? It's just like, I don't feel like women do that. I'm just saying.
I don't
I
care.
find that.
He has money. He's still corny to me. I don't.
See, and
There's
that's
sometimes.
and that's what the way we all should think, but I don't think people think that way. Like,
I
oh,
like.
he's Michael B. Jordan now. I don't, I
Whatever.
don't, I don't have any. I don't have anything against Michael B. Jordan.
I
I
don't.
think
But
he's
he's just not
adorable.
attractive to me. Like, people
Yeah,
be all like, "Oh, he's so attractive." No, he's not.
he just seems like a
Like
little
he's a
brother to me.
like
Same way I feel about
he's
Usher.
corny. Like, he may have money, but he's still corny. He's just a corny guy with money
Okay,
now. Like, I wouldn't
well,
try to
that
holler at him.
shit,
Like, even though
that
he
goes
got money
for.
now. Like, well, I don't care. I mean,
Mm,
I've never been the one to be like that anyway, because I feel that, a lot of times when you try to go for men with their money, that they could basically have their way with you, But that's just me.
mm-hmm.
Maybe I'm wrong.
I don't know. I mean, that's where the discernment comes in. I feel like I said, people are still doing, a lot of things that are physical, and then they wonder how they ended up with the person they were with. Like, I feel like in my case, if I paid attention to the personality of my daughter's father, my oldest daughter's father, instead of worrying about his muscles and stuff like that, I wouldn't have experienced the negativity that I've experienced, in
Mm.
my life. So I think, you know, people need to look past the age, past the looks, get to know somebody, realize that they're ugly or beautiful within before they get into things, because you're comparing things and saying, oh, why this and that, and you have no idea why.
Mm.
You literally don't know. It has nothing to do with looks. They probably got along much better. Maybe you're a jerk and you don't know it. Maybe you like matching all the time and you talk about, oh, he's corny because he don't match, look at him. And he heard that and he's like, I don't match all the time either. I really don't like you. You're getting on my nerves, and therefore I am not attracted to you despite you looking beautiful as fuck. I just can't.
Mm.
I can't be with you. And I don't
Mm.
think people ever conclude those things. They don't conclude
No.
it. You ever talk to somebody who they talk about somebody and you're like, are they talking about themselves? Because you're like, why are they complaining? They're complaining about somebody that sounds exactly like them. They don't know they have those flaws. And you're like, oh my God, you're looking at them and they're like, literally all they're doing is complaining about somebody that sounds exactly like them. I'm just like, I don't know how to respond to this, because I'm thinking you're talking about you, but you're saying someone else's name. And I don't think people realize that they're the problem. You ever talk to somebody like that?
Yeah, of course. I mean, even
It's so
talk to
weird.
somebody like that, or even like just seeing examples of be like, because it's always been said, what you notice in others, you can't stand in yourself.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, yeah, basically. So
Yes.
it's just, I don't think people are doing enough introspective work.
Of course not.
And hence the reason why they keep on concluding those the people who do podcasts need to just go to a therapist, right?
Yeah. Like just like one Facebook friend said earlier, they need to stop giving these hurt people mics.
Yeah, yeah. But there's more hurt people than people who are taking care of themselves and working on themselves. You
Oh
know.
yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with you on that. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
goodness. We are almost at that 9 o'clock hour. We got about 5 more minutes. Does anybody want to share any final thoughts on this subject today? I think we got, I feel like we got some really, really good points in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
whether, people will, do some more inner work in regards to this. I don't know. That's a lot to be trying to face who you really are and look at yourself in the mirror and see, okay, what do I need to do to make myself feel better so I don't feel the need to compete with other women or,
There,
unnecessarily, you know.
there's so many things. There's people. I mean, and I don't see it happening. I don't see people doing it. I feel like
Well,
everyone's gonna try to do the quick fix, and
well,
then find
um,
out it don't work.
well, we will. I will also provide some tips because that's how we do in the Wine Fine podcast. We'll point out, kind of like the areas of opportunity, but also give tips on or actions you can take to break this female cycle of rivalry, which comes from the Harvard Business Review. So
Mm-hmm.
you can help women through mentorship, advocacy, and creating opportunities. You can amplify other women, reinforce their ideas, suggestions, and meetings to increase their chances of being heard. You can give women credit for their ideas, contributions, and accomplishments. I kind of know, like the other day when I came across somebody, and she kind of gave me like this look, sort of like that look, like, oh, this bitch. But I liked what she had on because she had on like some patterns. Like it was like a suit, but one piece. It was a two-piece, but it was like patterns and nice colors. So I was like, "Oh, I love your outfit," but I don't think she heard me because she was just too busy. Her eyes said it all, the way how she looked at me. But that's
Mm-hmm.
that's what it is. But back
I
to
tell
some
people
more.
how good they look every day. Every
You
time I
have
see somebody,
to.
I'm like, damn, you look good, and they're
You
like,
have
oh,
to. You
thank
don't
you.
have to, but it's nice. Yeah.
I don't know. You just have to let people know. Like, I see you, gorgeous. I remember I saw a guy on the bus. He was jet blue. And I was like, oh my God, you're gorgeous. And he was like, oh, thank you. I'm like, you are stunning. The light reflecting off of you is
Oh God.
amazing. Right? I mean, like, I was literally cheesing and I wasn't attracted to him, but he was just there like a art painting, like just
Mm.
beautiful. And I had to let him know. I'm like, if no one's
Ah.
told you, which it don't look like they have, you are amazing. You are beautiful. And don't you forget it. And you
Aw.
gotta let people know. I do that to children too. They like, oh my God, thank you. I see beauty, I see light, I see people who make me smile. I tell them they made me smile. I'm like, look, you just made me smile. You look amazing. You're amazing. And I think people need to hear shit like that on a regular basis so they're not doubting themselves,
Yeah,
you
that
know?
is true.
And I
And
think
then,
that's a lot of these women have doubts because shit happened to them, and they're thinking they're fucked up in some weird way. And I'm like, it's not you. It's just it's life. Life is just one big ball of confusion. Nothing makes sense. It's very random, and sometimes don't even have meaning.
very true.
We're just here to live and die and
Yeah.
procreate, and that's it. So, you
Let's grab
know,
this. Let's grab this comment from Noosh.
Yeah, you guys' show has definitely been enlightening. I think it was very good. I did listen to what you guys said. I just think that a lot of people want, a lot of men won't say it, but a lot of men want the same thing women want.
I bet.
Somebody they can depend on, somebody responsible, somebody that's attractive. I mean, they don't have to be like a 10, but somebody's easy on their eye. But I think basically just having that person, just a soulmate, somebody that you think you could like build with. And I think a lot of
Mm-hmm.
women, when you meet them, they're already made up, so it doesn't look like an investment to some men because they're already put together. And when I mean put together, it's like exterior wise, just like the young lady was saying.
Mm,
Mm-hmm.
very true. Very true. Absolutely. And then
Yeah.
just one more final tip here. Um, I kind of mentioned earlier, but if you have skills or knowledge that's in high demand, really just hone in on that stuff. Use that to your advantage. Invite other women to kind of like join you and everything. Build those
Mm-hmm.
type of friendships, you know? And we got one more comment from Noosh. Let's go ahead and grab that.
You know, it's funny. You said you met a guy in the gym that was a two, and you was looking like I don't believe you had audacity to come and really try to talk to me. But with men, it's
Audacity.
confidence. It's some women that I may see and definitely not attracted to them, but their confidence is just like they're so confident. Their confidence is actually attractive. Like, wow, I like the way this woman carries herself. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes, not saying I would date them, but I just like I'm attracted to the confidence. And I think some men that you guys may meet may just be confident and they may be it too, but the confidence level makes you comfortable. Have you guys ever experienced that before?
Yes.
But I think with
I am attracted to confidence.
I'm attracted to confidence, but the dude was given some type of like homeboys pushed him to do that vibes, that type of thing. That was
Mm,
the energy I was getting.
okay. Well, maybe he'll try again
Not with me.
on his own on his own recognizance.
Silly.
Yeah.
Oh man. Love it. I love that we
Okay.
get to have these conversations, man.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Oh yeah, definitely. So, if you ever wanna we'll definitely be posting this up on YouTube. So if you kind of want to hear it again, so you could grab the articles and see it on your own, that'll be great as well. So
Hmm.
before we get out of here, Azima, where can everyone find you?
You can find me on TikTok and Instagram as Azima the Only. You can find me on YouTube and Facebook as Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. That's Ozidi Wellness and Fitness. And where can we find you, Joe?
So yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram at Camp Jogo Fit. That's KampJogofit. And it would also help out a lot subscribing to our YouTube channel of the Wine Fine Podcast as well.
It would be
And
awesome. Thank you.
yeah, and then we are signing off. We'll definitely be here next week. Hope you all can join. Hope you have a good night and enjoy your week.
All right.
Peace,
Sleep
y'all.
well.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye bye.